Hey there, student pilots. Let's just skip the fluff and get right down to business because we want you to absolutely ace your ground exam. Today's explainer tackles a topic that causes, well, a whole lot of headaches in flight school: runway declared distances. Look, if you are feeling kind of overwhelmed by all these acronyms, TORA, TODA, ASDA, LDA, trust me, you are definitely not alone. It looks like absolute alphabet soup on the page, right? And it trips up so many students when test day finally rolls around. But don't worry, we're going to break this all down logically so it basically becomes second nature to you. Now, before we get super serious and dive into the math, I did promise to keep this fun. I was actually going to tell you a joke about an airplane, but, I think it might just go right over your head. Okay, take a deep breath, groan at that terrible dad joke, shake off the study stress, and let's get ready to lock these definitions into your memory for good. Section 1. TORA, the basic runway. We are going to build your knowledge using a totally logical flight sequence, starting right where you apply full throttle, on the pavement. TORA stands for Takeoff Run Available. Literally, this is the length of the runway declared as available and suitable for the ground run of an aircraft taking off. Think of this as the actual, physical, usable pavement. It's that hard surface your wheels actually roll on, supporting the full weight of your plane from the exact moment you release the brakes until you rotate and lift into the air. That basic hard pavement, that's your TORA. Section 2, TODA, taking off safely. So what happens as we lift off the TORA and actually start climbing? Well, that's where our environment expands. To really grasp TODA, we first have to understand something called a clearway. A clearway is a defined rectangular area at the upwind end of a runway, basically the end you're flying towards as you depart, and it's specifically suitable for the initial climb out. The really crucial point here is that a clearway isn't necessarily thick pavement you can drive a plane on. It's effectively an airspace zone. It's an area where the Aerodrome Authority keeps obstacles to an absolute minimum, so you have a guaranteed obstacle-free buffer zone to gain altitude safely. And that brings us right to TODA, takeoff distance available. Honestly, just think of TODA as a simple math equation. Takeoff distance available is simply your TORA plus any clearway ahead of you. It's the total distance you have to do your ground roll on the pavement, plus that clear airspace you have to safely climb and clear that standard 50-foot obstacle. So, simply put, TORA plus clearway equals TODA. Section 3, ASDA, the aborted takeoff. Okay, let's rewind our scenario for a second. Imagine your takeoff didn't go as planned. Maybe you get an instrument warning during the roll, and you decide, nope, we have to abort. If you abort at high speed, you might actually need more room than the standard TORA provides. And this brings us to the stopway. A stopway is a defined rectangular area on the ground at the takeoff end of a runway, explicitly prepared and suitable for an aircraft to stop on in the event of an abandoned takeoff. Picture yourself rolling past your standard TORA pavement onto a specially prepared surface designed exclusively to help you stop safely. It might not be built to handle everyday landing impacts, but it absolutely has the structural integrity to support your heavy braking. Let's look at the formula for this and see how it builds. ASDA, or Accelerate Stop Distance Available. Just like TODA, it's a super simple addition problem. Your ASDA is your basic TORA length plus the length of the stopway. It's the total distance you have to accelerate the plane, recognize an emergency, pull that throttle back, and brake safely to a complete stop on a prepared surface. Let's actually compare the physical differences between these two runway additions. Clearways are essentially airspace at the upwind end. They're for flying up into clear air during your initial climb. Stopways, on the other hand, are strictly on the ground. They are prepared surfaces meant for braking hard during an abandoned takeoff. So one is for flying over, and the other is for rolling on. Make sense? Now let's put the big two side by side, TODA versus ASDA. Honestly, this is where most students get tripped up on the exam, but I've got an incredible mnemonic trick for you. Remember the O in TODA stands for taking off into the clearway, and the A in ASDA, that stands for accelerating and aborting into the stopway. Link O to off and A to abort, and you will effortlessly keep these two formulas straight every single time. Section 4, LDA, sticking the landing. All right, so we've successfully taken off, enjoyed the flight, and now it's time to return to Earth. Because eventually what goes up must come down, right? LDA is your landing distance available. Notice how incredibly similar this is to TORA, but LDA is strictly dedicated to the pavement available for the ground run of a landing aircraft. And keep in mind, sometimes LDA is actually shorter than TORA because of things like displaced thresholds or obstacles on your glide path, which is exactly why landing gets its very own specific measurement. Section 5. Final Exam Review. Okay, let's bring all these concepts together into one rapid-fire study sheet so you can lock in that passing score. I want you to take a mental screenshot right now. Seriously, these 4 formulas are the absolute key to passing this section of your ground exam. Ready? TORA is your base takeoff runway. TODA is your TORA plus your Clearway. ASDA is your TORA plus your Stopway. And LDA is your base landing runway. If you memorize this, you'll be absolutely golden. Trust me on this, you are fully prepared to tackle these questions now. You understand the math, the logic, and the actual physical reality of the runway. If this explainer helped clear up that alphabet soup for you, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. We're going to be releasing plenty more quick, no-nonsense study guides just like this for your PPL ground school prep. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought to ponder. Which declared distance are you going to calculate first on your next cross-country flight? Think about how aircraft weight, weather, and altitude are going to change what distances you actually require compared to what the runway offers. Keep your mind sharp, fly safe, and always ask yourself how you'll apply these distances the next time you're sitting in the left seat. Good luck on your exams.